Today I'm going to show you the bandsaw. Now, a bandsaw is called a bandsaw. Let's actually go to this older model because you have a saw blade that is a giant band that extends over one powered wheel. There's a motor on this lower wheel, and this is just a free spinning wheel. So the tension in the band, the blade, is going to spin this wheel with it. That's why it's called a bandsaw. Now, I love this tool. It's excellent for cutting rough cuts. You can actually use it to make planks of wood thinner by using the fence. It's also great for curved cuts. Woo. To use the bandsaw, there's a couple of gauges that you're going to need to know. First one is the guard adjustment. To the side of the blade, you're going to see this guard. It's here because one thing is that it's going to guide the band a little bit closer to your cut. There's going to be less wiggle because it's got extra support. So that's one benefit. The other benefit is that inevitably this blade will snap. It's the nature of it. Things break over time. And when it snaps, it has a tendency to whip out this way. We don't want the blade to snap onto our hands. That's bad. So we set the guard so it's just a little above, maybe like half an inch, maybe less. You want enough room that you can see, but you want it to be close enough to provide that support and protection. To adjust this, you have this. It's a kind of like a set screw. You have this threaded screw. I'm going to show you. That's it. You have a flat end, which is going to push on this guiding rod. So when you first go to set the guard, you just need to loosen this enough that it spins freely. You don't need to go all the way. It's tight now. You're going to loosen it up a little bit, and now you have this wheel. This wheel is going to allow you to quickly and accurately and precisely adjust the height of your guard. Put your workpiece next to the guard, and you're going to just check the height. Right now I got about 1/4 of an inch. I'm good. I'm going to tighten this locking nut, screw, bolt thing, this locking bolt, and now I'm prepared for my cut. If I were trying to cut a rough straight line, you are never going to get a perfectly straight line out of a bandsaw. It's not designed for that. You can get a roughly straight cut. To use the fence, it's like any other fence. You're going to pick up the lock and slide the rail. Now, this particular bandsaw is also fitted with this little view finder, and there's a ruler underneath. It'll tell you how far away the fence is from the blade. So you can use that, although in general we have better tools for that. Yeah, so this fence will allow you to resaw the thickness of a piece of wood or just do a straight line. Now, one great feature of this tool that's not really applicable to many tools is that you can do curves. Now, one thing that you have to understand, it's going to be hard to show you, but I'll do my best. That's all you can do. Here, I've got a little notch in here. If I rotate the piece of wood in place, you see how that blade is starting to twist? That's bad. But the bandsaw is beautiful because it's going to tell you that it doesn't like what you're doing. In order to have a smooth cut and for the blade not to scream at you and not to snap, you have to remember to continually push through the cut. Now, you can also, it's really, I'll get into why it's great, but you want your fingers to be 2 inches away from either side. I know personally, I've risked it and been closer and been fine, but as a good measure, keep your hands at least 2 inches away from each side. And it's a little further than the actual circle that's on the table, this metal piece that comes out that you can't see right there. It's if your hands are anywhere within that bubble, you're doing it wrong. So what's excellent about this tool is that if I start cutting and then I just leave it in place, it actually won't jump anywhere because the band is continually pulling down. That's excellent for stability and for a clean cut. When you go to cut, you do not push with a lot of force. It's going to eat away bit by bit. You're not trying to force feed it. Let it just chew with the teeth of the blade. Now, I'm going to do a straight cut first. I've got my height set. My fence is out of the way. I've got my hands positioned in a way that I can go all the way through the cut. I'm going to back it off the blade, turn it on. Once it's reached full speed, then I can cut. Push right through. There we go. To remove the excess, the cut off pieces, you can just use your workpiece to tip it away until it's safe. Don't put your fingers near moving blades. So here I just cut off this little piece, and you'll notice it's got ridges on the side. I don't know if you can see this. But that's why we can't do straight cuts. It's going to have some natural variation in how smooth it is. It's good for a general straight cut, but really, this is curves and things like that. To curve it, I want you to pay attention to how much I have to spin this in order to execute a curve. I'm going to go this way. No, I'm not. See that? Can't twist it. So I'm going to go from here, and I'm going to cut a curve like this. Now, I'm also going to make it scream so you hear what it sounds like. Yeah. Go in. And ready for the scream? That's telling me push it forward. So now I'm going to do the curve. I'm pushing forward and I'm twisting. It's twisting a lot like that. Push it forward, push it forward. So when it starts screaming, it just means you need to push it through the cut more. And here I was able to get a little curve. All right, that's pretty much it for the bandsaw.